Hey, welcome back to Vic Ferrari's Garage. So I've got my transmission and my engine out. I just made a video on how to kind of decide what gear ratios you want in your transmission for first, second, third, and fourth. You can change those. And you can use the Weddle calculator. So I just made a video on that. I'm gonna post it up here in a minute, but I saw Easy Jeezy tonight talking about his linkage, and I thought it was a really cool video. Not trying to copy him, I just thought I'd show you what I do so that you guys get more than, one guy's opinion. And he might find something that I do on mine that'll help him. He does some stuff with some gauge tools to measure things out, and I tend to try to do things more without tools. Is kind of my job in my garage. It's about get it done without having too many tools. So anyway, he just basically did what I'm going to show you, but I'm going to show you my method to get where I am at with my carbs and how to adjust them. And hopefully this will help you guys out. Watch his video and then watch my video and then take what you can get out of both of them. And let's jump into it. So I basically have the same exact linkage that he does. He has got Duel carburetors, but it really makes no difference whether you got Weber or Duel. So you may have a throttle cable that comes out of this hole here and pulls on your system, or you may have the style that I have, which actually comes in here, hooks on, and actually pushes. My cable's heavy duty, and it actually pushes the throttles. So if you watch one of my videos about 2 or 3 videos back, you're going to see that I designed my system so that I have no springs other than these, okay? And the lubrication I use, Easy Jeezy was talking about lubricating with, I don't see it in there. He was talking about lubricating with oils, grease, different things like that inside his ball part of his linkage. And I like to use this Easy Lube bike chain. It is not oil. It's some sort of a wax product, and it has got self-cleaning technology. So instead of attracting dirt and dust, it actually repels it. It's a dry to the touch type stuff. It's not grease or oil, and it is super slick. It's almost like putting wax on these. So first off, Easy Jeezy was talking about getting the distance in here correct, and he's been doing this for a very long time, and I think he's dead on that. I actually don't worry about that. I put mine on, I put the spring in, put it on, and I just make them so that it has the ability to float back and forth. You can see the spring pulling it back. Okay. And that's all I worry about. It can go, darn it, trying to tip my motor over. It can go either way. So I let it, I adjust it so that it has the ability for the spring to center itself, and then I leave it alone. Okay, I let it find its little happy spot. I don't tighten it too tight. I just make it so the spring holds it this way and the other spring holds it that way. and it's happy. From there, I come over and I line my ball up with my cable in the straightest line I can get, okay? Any angles are gonna bind, and that's where you're gonna have sticky throttles and stuff, okay? And you can see this is not sticky at all. Now when it comes to, so I do that, and then make sure you use some sort of Loctite, because when these come loose, this will float and it'll mess you all up. It'll change everything on your throttle cable. You'll notice that I run a little zip tie on both sides of my actual linkage bar, and that's because I did have one of these screws come undone on the trail one day. This slid just about a 1/4 inch over, and man, my engine went to crap. And I mean like way went to crap. If you do not have these right, your engine will not run right. It'll be so out of balance. These cylinders will be firing with half the fuel those are firing with, and it's going to be really bad. So the way I set these is I take and I leave that loose. Like I said, I get this bar happy, I get the throttle piece happy, then I loosen that and I try and get this exactly straight up and down at idle. Okay, so when this is at idle, this is as straight as it can be up and down, and same over here, okay? If you have a deviation this way or this way, it will pull the throttle open, so you'll start, both of them will be on idle, but as you start giving it gas, it will pull that one faster than it'll pull this one. So you need these to match, they straight as you can get them up and down, and then they should automatically be at the right angle here, just because of the design of the system. The bars are both the same length. So you're gonna leave this loose, get that as straight up and down as you can get it, then just gently snug it. Come over here to this side, do the same thing. Get it straight up and down as you can get it, gently snug it. You're gonna wanna make sure that your carburetors are completely unscrewed. Unscrew the idle so that this can be closed as it can go on both sides. Then, once you've got that and you snug that down, you're gonna wanna give it throttle, and you're gonna wanna see that it opens the carburetors to full. And they should both reach full at exactly the same time, okay? If they don't, it's because you don't have this set right. And I am telling you, an 1/8 inch this way or that way will make a big difference in how far these open at the same times. So the whole trick, like I say, is get it as straight up and down as you can get it. No tilt. Tilt is bad, because if you're slightly tilting this way and the other one over there is slightly tilting this way, or they're both tilting but one's tilting further, it's a disaster. You're done. You need to try and get them as straight as possible. And I do eyeball it. Once my buggy is running, I will take one of these and I will loosen it just a little, and I'll give it some throttle, and I'll listen to see if it's running fairly smooth as can be. And if it's not, I will just slide it a hair this way, try it again, slide it a hair this way, try it again, and I will work with it for a minute until it matches the other side. And you'll know because the engine will smooth out. It'll run nice. And then, you know, of course, adjusting these here in and out can help fine tune. But I am telling you, there's no point in messing with this until you got these set as perfect as you can get them. And like I say, the way to do it is get them as close as you can get them by eyeball, then start the engine, loosen one of them, and just barely move it, barely, because I'm telling you, a piece of paper movement is enough to change. So just barely move it, rev the engine up and listen to it. If it's not revving good, or if it's running rough, try moving it the other way or a little bit more this way. Just move it back and forth until you find that spot that it likes. And then tighten it down and you should be good. Then you can come back and start adjusting, you know, this in and out or whatever to get this perfect. But if you started it on idle, and you did that one on idle, and you set everything up, most likely these are not going to have to be moved very much at all, because you're pretty much starting off with these is exactly the same as the other side. So once you have that, you're going to want to go into my other video about tuning your carb, but I have a video that says starts in the valves, tuning your way to the plugs, tuning your way to distributor, working your way up to the carb. You want to go see that video after you do this. So tuning your engine can be a real pain in the ass. I will tell you that right now. But once you get good at it, if you watch my video that tunes from bottom to top, and you use this video to help adjust these pieces, and you use my video about how to get the throttle cable and the throttle system to work with no extra springs, you're gonna get your engine perfect. Just work your way through those videos. All right? So I hope that helps. And like I say, go watch Easy Jeezy's. He's a super teacher. I literally learned a ton from watching Easy Jeezy when I got started in this, because I knew zero about Volkswagen. I had tuned Top Fuel cars. I had tuned, I shouldn't say I tuned, I worked on Top Fuel cars. I tuned blower cars of my own, 671 blower and a 77 Chevy Chevette. And I got to Volkswagen and realized these things are actually a pain in the ass to tune, but once you get to learn how to do it, they're one of the nicest engines you're gonna have. So, the thing that amazes me is that I still can't get a good handle on these new vehicles. Good Lord, you need to spend a ton of money on diagnostic equipment. You may as well just be a snap-on mechanic, because it's tough to work on new vehicles. My Nissan's kicking my ass. So, but it's all right. I got a lot of good mechanics that I can kind of fall back on and buy them some beer and pizza and ask them a few questions. I don't have them work on my cars, but I do from time to time buy a pizza, pay those guys, you know, $70, even though I only used 10 or 15, 20 minutes of their time over a year, you know, on the phone. If you have to ask a mechanic a question, pay the guy, because you know, they spent years learning what they know, and you're just asking them questions. And I'm guilty of that. I did it for years, and I just finally felt, you know, like, man, I really owe these guys something, you know, buy them some beer, pizza, whatever, because they've been gracious enough to answer my questions for years. And then they still told me don't send me any money, but I did anyway. So don't be afraid to pay those guys, because they went to school, they bought the equipment, and you know, it's just like borrowing tools, man. If you're going to borrow a tool, bring it back and don't damage it. Tools are like girlfriends. You're not going to loan me your girlfriend, so don't ask for my tools. Anyway, I hope this helps out. Throw some comments in the bottom, please. Definitely throw a comment down, and I'll try to answer it, help you guys out. I try to think of everything in these videos, but sometimes it gets a little bit challenging to just know exactly what you guys are going to want. So don't be afraid to ask. I'll be happy to maybe even make a video real quick on what you want. So, all right, Vic Ferrari, have a great day.